Yeah, good morning and welcome to Oraposium 45.0. My name is Unguchika Charity. I'm a fellow of this noble institution. Um, I'll be your anchor for today's program, today's Oraposium. And I'll be glad if you're yet to share our flyer this morning, or you're yet to share. You're yet to share it. Please kindly do that as we begin the Oraposium proper. Oraposium is brought to you by Oracle, and Oracle is an acronym for Oral and Public Health, incorporated in the Republic of Gambia. Oracle is an international independent oral and public health information, education, and research organization. Like I said, is incorporated in the Republic of Gambia. We exist to give you swift access to information, education, and research in the underserved area of oral and public health disciplines. Our mission is to support the development of oral and public health manpower, services, and consumer products in resource-limited contexts by catalyzing access to information, research, learning, and innovation in underserved disciplines of oral and public health. So there are entities in the Oracle family that work in synergy to execute the mission of this organization. These entities include the Oracle School, where we have short, affordable, and flexible courses in oral and public health. There you can explore and upskill, searching through our courses. You can get that at our website. And also we have our Oracle Journal, our Oracle Literature Review, our Oracle Community, and Oracle College of Scholars. The community is for everyone, so you're free to invite your friends to join using the link to join us in the community. And also we have the Oracle College of Scholars, where we train professionals to become fellow of this noble institution. So this morning, we are privileged to have one of us, a member of the college, to share with us on the impacts of urbanization on health. The impacts of urbanization on health. This is a very interesting topic, and that is why I said earlier, you can share the link quickly, invite your friends to come join us this morning. And we'll be having, like I said, a member of the college. He's a dental therapist and also a member of this college, in the person of Mr. Amalachuku Promise Okpokwasili. Welcome him right here to discuss the topic, the impacts of urbanization on health. Mr. Promise, please kindly go ahead with the presentation.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Having been introduced by the moderator, I wish to proceed. Just like she rightly pointed out, this morning I'll be leading the discourse on the impacts of urbanization on health. Before I go into the topic proper, this is a major concern. This particular topic is a major concern for every community, for every society, for every country, because these are the things that basically we ignore, in our quest for greener pasture. So it's important that through Oraposium, I will bring these to context so that, we discuss on them and see how we can improve our lives. Because just like they normally say, health is wealth. So by the presentation outline, we'll be having the introduction, the human history and urbanization, then the pictorial representation, the concept of health, of urban health, the concept of urban public health. Then we look at the causes of urbanization, impacts of urbanization on health, the measures to absorb the negative impacts of urbanization, then conclusion and the references. On the introduction, urbanization is referred to as a state whereby human population are confined within distinct environments. It majorly leads to transformation of those areas for living, trade, industry, and transportational purposes. Now, urbanization is not just a term. It's a state, or it's a process, a gradual process that involves people, human population, to gather around within an environment and call that place the place of their living. It's not just a desert, no. It has to do with human population coming together to own a particular area of land, do their daily activities there, goes to their work, live there, eat their food, carry out their other activities that ensures their livelihood. Now, urbanization does not occur at once. It follows a gradual process of slow or rapid movement of people from smaller towns or rural areas to bigger towns or urban area. This thereby reduces the population of people in rural areas and increases the human population in the urban or developed cities. Yes, this is a concept that many of us are familiarized with. If you go to your village, for an example now, you discover that the population of persons in your village is very poor as regards to the ones that you are seeing in towns or these urban areas. Now, it does not mean that your village, like the landmass, is small. In as much as in most villages, we have, large mass of, landmass. But then we discover that the people that are living there are very few. So this is what urbanization causes. It does not just occur overnight. It's a gradual process, and it can also be rapid movement of people anyway. But over time, you understand that when it keeps happening and happening and happening, before you know it, a particular area is being densed with human population. Urbanization comes with a lot of advantages, yes, which include earning high wage or salary, more educational opportunity, internet connection, and the rest. Yes, you understand that urbanization is a testament that a particular community or a particular area is doing well when it comes to opportunities, when it comes to having access to modern facilities. But then scholars has also discovered that urbanization also has its negative impact on health. So it does not just focus on just the advantages. In the course of our discussion this morning, we'll be looking at ways that this urbanization impacts the health of us, of the people that lives there. Now, this will enable us, this will give us, an overview. This will give us a background for us to understand what we are in, especially when we are making decisions as regards to, migration, moving from one town to another. When we able to understand the impact that this urbanization has on health, it will make us to take informed decisions concerning our lives and the way we move ourselves from one place to the other. Now, human history and urbanization. This is very important because, just like I pointed out, it does not just happen. It can be rapid anyway, but most times it's a gradual process, and you discover that one particular area is being dense with human population. Now, it says that until 10,000 years ago, and recently in few other regions, people move around to take advantage of food, ripening fruit, and water availability. Yes, these are the major things, in those age. These are the major things that leads people to move from their place of abode, from where they are living, to other areas, because they are searching for food, they are searching for water. Then years later, there was a breakthrough in understanding of agriculture and ecosystem to enable food to be available throughout the year. So when people start making progress, now food can be available throughout the year. They now have breakthroughs on how food can be available, because the basic need of human being is food, clothing, and shelter. So when they were able to solve all this, it actually leads also to more urbanization. Now, this is an advancement in social complexity and other achievement through innovation, which are encoded in former institutions. Thus, scholars came up with the name urban evolution and occurred in Mesopotamia. Now, this is just like I said earlier, is actually a gradual process. Now, when people had breakthrough in what they are eating, in clothing, in shelter, now they begin to seek for other means to satisfy their wants. Just like economic told us, human needs, human wants are insatiable. So there is a hunger in human being that if we can conquer this, we can conquer the next one. Now, when they have solved the issue of the basic human needs, then they now step up to modernization, to industrialization, and then this leads to urbanization. Now people start moving. Now their drive now is not just for food, it's not just for shelter, but to make their lives better, for them to use more recent equipment or social amenities in carrying out their daily activities. Now this also forms the human history and how it was linked to urbanization. Then the pictorial, next slide please. Then the pictorial representation here, as at now, from this source, it says that 54% of the world's population now lives in cities. Now, if you are able to study this pictorial representation very well, it shows the basic continent you have in the world: the North America, the Latin America, the Europe, the Oceania, the Asia, the Africa, and the worldwide. And there are speculations that in years to come, by year 2050, that about 64% of the world population will now be living in a city. And it becomes a major concern for us because, just like I pointed out earlier in the introduction, urbanization have positive impact. Yes, of course, urbanization is good, but in as much as it's good, there are some ways that this impacts on our health. So the reason, the aim that we are doing this is for us to understand those impacts and knows how we can cushion ourselves, to cushion our effect to the effect, and this will make us to live a more healthy and proper life. Then the concept of urban health. This is very important because we are talking about urban, then we are also talking about health. There is a way that we should link up these things so that we'll be properly informed. Urban health is the study that deals with urban characteristics which are capable of influencing health condition, and diseases in an urban settlement. These characteristics involve the physical environment, social classes, social status and classes, as well as urban resources and infrastructure that runs the entire settlement. Now, if you are talking about urban health, you are talking about those characteristics, those features that makes health accessible and equitable to those people living in those areas. You talk about the physical environment, how the place is being planned, how the place is being stationed, then the social status and classes, the class of people that lives in that society, and even the infrastructures, those things that runs the city. Talk about the transportation, talk about the water system, talk about the electricity, talk about the green energies and the rest. So these are the things that features in urban health. So it's important that we understand all these things. Then to the next slide, please. Concept of urban public health. Urban public health is a branch of public health focused on community health issues in urban area. It is a career that centers on urban health aims. Thus, this with comprehensive analysis of factors that affect the health outcomes in large population and develop strategies to improve the quality of life within those areas. Urban public health careers include but not limited to community health educators, emergency service coordinators, maternal and child health specialists, public health administrators, public health analysis, and so on. So also while talking about urbanization and how it influences our health, it's also important that we or those people living in those communities should have a way to enhance their knowledge or even careers in those areas called public health, called urban public health, so that people that lives around those areas can be a benefactor of those informations that are made available to them as regards to their health. You talk about it's a career that centers on urban health aims. Now, you should agree with me that there are some things that are happening in the cities or in those urban areas that when you start relating it to somebody that lives in a particular community or in a particular village, person will be acting very surprised. Why? Because he or she has not experienced those things, because he or she have not actually lived in those urban areas. So while living in urban areas, there are needs for the implementation of these careers so that health can be preserved, so that optimal health can be ascertained within those communities. Then causes of urbanization. Now, several factors cause urbanization. These factors include commercialization, industrialization, social benefit and services, natural population increase via birth, employment opportunity. However, the cause of urbanization can be summed up in three basic reasons. Now, look at them. Rural to urban migration, rural urban transformation, and then negative policies. What does it mean? Or what does this word or this sentence mean? Rural to urban migration. Now, this is just the movement of people from a rural area to urban area. Why? Because they believe that they have more opportunities in those urban areas. Therefore, this informs their decision for them to go, urban areas, for them to be partakers of those opportunities, maybe in terms of salary, maybe in terms of their wage, maybe in terms of transportation, internet access, and also even educational reasons. Yes, of course, people leave villages or rural areas to urban areas to obtain, quality education. Then rural urban transformation. This one is also important. The government most times has, hands in this one, basically because some of the rural areas, they will just map it out for transformation. Then they might start industry there, commercialization there, markets there, and before you know it, that particular area is being dense with people. The negative policies, yes, of course, the society most times favors the rich. There are this variation, there are this disparity between the rich and the poor. So when you feel that where you are staying in the village, you don't obtain the basic things, particularly in health, that might cause an informed decision for somebody to leave one community to the other in order for the person to be a benefactor, to the policies that will favor his or her health. Then we talk about the impacts of urbanization on health. And this is our topic. We are going to discuss this extensively. Now, urbanization has many negative effects on health, and this includes, number one, health inequities. What do I mean by health inequities? Health inequities means that there is a system that favors, just like I pointed out, before now. There are some systems that favors one social class of the society and neglects the another. And also there are systems that these people can afford health, can afford basic things they need in health, and these other people can't afford those things. Now, urbanization leads to this. In as much as urbanization brings health and many economic benefits, there are still gaps between the social class in society. The poor, the immigrants, and the most vulnerable feel inequities in obtaining these healthcare services the most. Yes, because some of those social classes, they have a working health insurance. They can easily breeze into the hospital, get the services that they need. But the poor, the vulnerable, the migrant, the immigrants, most of these guys don't have those health benefits. So it brings a major gap in their health, in as much as they are living in the same community or in the same town as those of the rich. So it's something that should be examined and have ways to bring, to measure or to bring a positive, solutions to this. Now, the spread of infectious disease. Infectious disease thrive the most in overcrowded environment and are closely related to unhealthy housing units, poor sanitation, and improper waste management. Yeah, this is very important. If I begin to ask us one after the other, during the last, pandemic that happened, it is called COVID-19. Yeah. And if I start interviewing us one after the other and, I start asking, do you know anybody that died of COVID-19 in your village? I know the answer will be no. But we hear stories, we have emergencies in town that people died of COVID-19, people are hospitalized because of COVID-19. Even the social distancing, most times in most villages, there were no such thing. So this thing is what urbanization brings to us, that people are, crowded in an environment, and this environment brings poor sanitation and even improper waste management. All these things are the impact of urbanization on our health. Now, high rate of depression, anxiety, and mental ill health. This is also seen as a product of urbanization. Why? Because people start measuring themselves by themselves. You have most rate of depression in the towns. Why? Because maybe for the basic, people can't actually afford their house rent. But in the villages, in the rural area, there are no such thing like that. Even the cost of feeding here is in towns or in these urban areas is increasing. And there is nothing like that. And even when you decide to go out, to leave your house, you will see things that if care is not taken, one can cause one into depression or even anxiety. All these things are what urbanization brings to us. That's the negative impact of urbanization. Then the loss of green space and increase in heat island effect. As more lands are being developed, both for housing unit and industry, green spaces are lost, and these areas start heating up. Yes, this is what we've been seeing in most of our cities. The green spaces are being, there are massive deforestation. There are some towns or there are some children that they are even up to 8 years, 10 years, but they don't know what forest looks like. They don't know what green vegetation looks like. All these things are the effect of urbanization. And in the effect, we know that, you understand that in basic biology, they say that human being breathes oxygen and give carbon dioxide. And what's actually bring those oxygens, are the green vegetations. Now, imagine the areas where all the trees are cut down, no vegetation whatsoever. You can imagine the type of toxic airs that people living in those areas are breathing. And even some places that are mapped out as industrial areas, people still go and live there. Industrial area, people still go and live there. All these things are the effects that urbanization, brings to us. Now, biodiversity loss and urbanization, as urban expansion mostly takes place in forests, yes, wetland and agricultural system. Most species that find their natural habitat there can go into extinction. Yes, of course, if we start asking secondary school children that lives in town about the basic, maybe let me say bush meat, all these, animals that have their habitations, we discover that urbanization has actually have an effect on that, because most of these places that are being developed are forests. Most of them are places for agriculture. But because human population is increasing and also urbanization increases, most of those things, most of those natural habitats, most of those, even some animals are going into extinction because of this effect. And in turns, it affects the health of those populations. Now, air, water, and soil pollution. As urbanization increases, the air, water, and soil are being polluted because of the emission of gases into the atmosphere and oil spillage in the water as well as the soil. Now, this is very fatal, because you can agree with me, some of the states in our country, Nigeria, for those of us that are in Nigeria, there are all these oil producing states. These are the towns, that have these impacts very well, because you understand that I was actually listening to a man. He was actually giving a lecture, and he was trying to tell us that the soil on earth is actually degrading, that we have more sand than soil. And I was asking myself, what's the difference between sand and soil? And I discovered that soil are sand that has nutrients. You can put your seed on the soil and it will germinate and bring fruit and the rest. But on sand is just there. It doesn't have any nutrients. So all these things are the effect that urbanization brings. And even to the water. Yes, there are water pollution, the water body, there are poor regulation in communities where there are poor regulations. Even the water that people drink are not safe. Talk about the air. If you cannot control the water, if you cannot control the population, the soil pollution, then what about the air that people breathe? Just like I pointed out earlier, that even in most industrial areas, you still find people living there. There are one in the area that I stay, just not too far from where I stay. It's an industrial area, but there is an estate there. That particular industrial area does not have anything less than 15 industry, but they still have an estate inside that industrial area. Now, if you go and take the quality, if you go and start checking the air quality of those areas, you understand that even their health is at risk. And all these things are the effect of urbanization on health. Then increased risk of crime and violence due to social disparity. Yes, this is evident because of the competition for scarce resources. You can imagine some of the crime that we complain in urban areas. If you go to our villages, there is no crime like that. You don't complain about that. But in town, you have, let me just, for an example, in dry seasons in my state, the place where I stay now, the well is dried up and there is no, the water doesn't, the boreholes, there is no functional borehole. And the few that are left, you will see mass population, for that particular just water, the basic thing, water. And you see people going from miles just to get water. And this is a major concern because of urbanization. In most of our communities in our village, most people don't even know what is dry season and rainy season, because they have all these things, in their space. There is no need for them to start going from street to street in search of something that is basic like water. So there is increased risk of crime and violence due to social disparities. And also, when you come about the higher crimes like murder, theft, and all the rest, most of the time you don't see these things in rural areas. It's predominantly in the urban areas. And in a way or the other, all these things affect our health. Now, measures to adopt to absorb negative impacts of urbanization on health. In checkmating the constant deterioration in health as a result of progressive urbanization, it is important to focus urban development towards the following goals. Now, these are the ways that if we can adopt these ways, it will help us live a proper life. Let me just say a proper life to obtain optimal health. Now, what are the ways? Number one, development of areas where people can live in healthy environment regardless of their social class. Now, if you are building urban cities or urban towns, there should be a standard requirement for those cities. They should find a way to bring policies that will regulate this social class so that everyone can be a benefactor, to the social amenities that are made available in those areas. Something like the health insurance, and the rest. It doesn't make sense that this person can get access to healthcare, attention or healthcare facility at this amount, whereas the other person cannot even get this, this help, in as much as they are still living in the same community. No. So there must be a development. There must be policies that should be able to regulate this. Then promoting social inclusion and reducing inequality, especially access towards healthcare. Yes, I just explained that now. Then provision of suitable economic opportunities. Yes, if in most of the urban areas, we discover that the opportunities that even most people seek before going there, when they now use they understand that you are applying for this job, for an example, you discover that 100 other persons has actually applied for that job. So if there must be urbanization, there must be a suitable economic opportunities that can be beneficial to all the members of that particular community, so that everybody can be busy in that community. Now, in turn, this reduces the bad impact of urbanization on health. Now, restriction of migration to towns to a level that can be comfortably supported. Yes, there is no other way to put this. There should be regulation that restricts migration to town, in a way that people can live in a city and be a benefactor to those social amenities, those infrastructures that are in the city. There is no sense making, maybe for a general hospital, for an example, that you have 100 beds for patients, and every day you have 500 people coming to seek for those beds. That's why if you go to some of those hospitals, you see people lying on the floor. Not just that the health system is bad, but the small health system, the health system itself is not enough to accommodate the patient that they have on a daily basis. So it's a major concern, and there should be a restriction that should be able to, regulate all these policies. Then prevention of septic fringe and overcrowding. This one is very important, because if you look at most of our urban cities, we discover that the waste management there is very poor. And we are not just talking about being overcrowded, this so amount of persons sharing the same room, even in the same compound, even the waste management. How are all these waste being managed? So all these things are ways that if policies are being implemented, it will help us, or it will help the public or the government to regulate all this, to absorb all this negative impact of urbanization and health, so that people can live in urban cities and live a very good and healthy life. Now, in conclusion, urbanization is a testament that the society is progressive, particularly in terms of infrastructures and technological advancement. Yes, just like I pointed out in the introduction, urbanization is not bad. In my conclusion, I said that it's a testament that the society is progressive, yes, in terms of infrastructure and technological advancement. However, urban planning has to be proper with standard policy and due regulations to ensure that the positive advancements are not directly or indirectly increasing the vulnerability of the populace to prevent health hazards and diseases. Again, urbanization is unavoidable, and the health implications that come with it can be cushioned. Yes, it's very certain. It's actually unavoidable because the population keeps increasing. There is no law in most of the countries, most of the continents, checkmating the birth rate and the rest. So population keeps increasing. But if proper things or if proper regulations are being carried out, are being brought out, by the governing bodies, by the NGOs, by the governments, there are ways that all these health implications, all these health impacts, all these negative health impacts can be cushioned, so that once people live in urban areas, when your need drives you to an urban area, you can able to live a proper lifestyle and also a healthy lifestyle. Now, these are my references. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you very much, Promise, for that insightful presentation. Um, it was really an interesting topic. I must commend you for a thorough research that you did. Can anyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very. So, still on the topic, impact of urbanization on health. I believe we are able to get one or two things from the presentation. So, without wasting so much of our time, can we go straight to your contribution? We just have a few more minutes to round up today's session, and this is the last Oraposium for the year 2023. It has been an awesome journey. Different topics has been, you know, brought to this platform, and we've had roughly more than 20 to 30 Oraposiums this year, and it has been mind-blowing and interesting. So thank you very much to all the members of the college for your hard work, your resilience, and your commitment to the goal of the institution. So let's hear your contribution on the topic. I believe some of us that started the presentation with us will bear with me that it was quite an interesting session. So let's have your contribution to the paper presentation. Or if you have any question, please feel free to ask. Our presenter is fully ready and fully ready to, take on your question for today. So if you have a question on that topic, go ahead and signify and you'll be called upon. Okay, while we wait for the questions, you can also use the chat box if you're not too comfortable using the voice notes. You can drop your text as a message in the community chat. The chat box, the community is for every one of us. So you can do well to drop a message there and we'll read it out. Okay. So feel free to ask your questions, feel free to make your contributions to the paper presentation. This Oraposium is brought to you by Orapo. Orapo is an oral and public health, is coined from the word oral and public health. And the community is here to serve you. The community is here to give you an updated information in the oral and public health discipline. So if you're here, you're in the right place, and you'll get the right knowledge. Okay, so the members of the college gives the presentation, and to the community, to everyone, medical and dental practitioners. So you're welcome to join us, and also to invite your friends to join in this paper presentation. So I'm
Good
still
morning,
with.
ma'am.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. First of all, I want to say a very big thank you to Mr. Promise for making justice to that topic. It was really an insightful one. However, I want to make some contributions as well as ask some questions. Now, one of the contributions I want to make is the fact that, you know, I want to believe that the issue of drug abuse and substance abuse are also one of the problems, or some of the problems of urbanization. And because of the fact that urbanization is structured in such a way that everybody is living a fast-paced life. You always want to get what you want at all costs. You want to, you have targets to meet up to. Like this is December now. Some of us who did not meet up with what we actually planned for the past 11 months. Want to achieve those things within the last month of the year, which would lead us to a lot of things. Like if you are a driver, you want to abuse drugs to stay alert. You want to get calculated drinks, energy drinks to ensure that you stay alert over a longer period of time, so you'll be able to have more money and all that. Now, to the question, what can we do? I want to believe that as health professionals, we also have our own take. We also have a kind of deficiency in our lifestyle that might, make us to be prone to some of these problems. Like we always want to work 24/7. There's no time for us to rest. There's no time for our families. There's no time for friends. There's no time for leisure and other recreational activities. Now, as health professionals, the presenters are, as health professionals, how do you think we can actually, cushion the effect of the fast-paced life, the kind of lifestyle we live in urban areas to ensure that we live a more, healthy life, to ensure that we make informed decisions that will, make our life to be more enjoyed, more enjoyable, more valued than when we live our life now? That is my question. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you for that one. Just like I pointed out in the effects, you also highlighted about drug and substance abuse and the fast life, fast-paced life that people live in towns. Now, I talked about
Hello. I think we lost him to network. Can you hear me, Mr. Mara? Can anyone hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, yeah. I think we lost him to network. Okay, while we wait for him to join us again.
Sorry for that one. Hello.
You're welcome back.
Oh, sorry about that one. So just like I was saying, I spoke about the high rate of depression, anxiety, and the rest. This is as a result of the effects of this urbanization. And you are asking, ways that we can actually, cushion this effect. Number one, it starts from personal decision. The type of lifestyle that you want to live. First, there is this popular adage that says cut your coat according to your size. Then this is the first approach towards cushioning the effect of this urbanization. Then the second one is awareness from the NGOs, just like we are doing it now. I spoke about the urban public health, the careers that people will choose. There are needs for awareness, especially to our students that are still choosing their careers in secondary schools or maybe in primary schools. All these things, if when you are contented and if proper awareness in the society, and if we have more health workers that channels the healthcare professionals towards public health, I think this effect can actually be cushioned. Then another thing is the government, because you can't actually do anything, do major things. You can do something, but you cannot do major things at regards community or to the society that you live in without the consent of the government. So government also have a role to play in this. First, there should be regulations, just like I was talking about the ways to absorb the negative impact of this urbanization. There should be informed regulations about, first, the definition of urban areas of this urbanization. If we can get the definition right, then what are the measures? What makes urban areas urban areas? If we can answer that question, then the things that we answered, maybe talk about the health facilities, talk about the infrastructures, talk about our transportation, talk about the water we drink, talk about the roads, and even the housing units. If there are proper regulations to regulate all these things, I think some of the effects, if we cannot cushion all the effects, I think the basic we can attempt in cushioning these effects that negative urbanization has on health. I think that's what I have to answer. So we have our own part, being contented with what we have. Then there should be awareness within the schools for students to start picking up careers as regards to public health. Then also the government also should have their major roles to play in making sure that there are solid regulations that makes urbanization what it is. Thank you very much. I don't know if I attended your question, sir.
Okay, thank you very much, Promise, for that explanation. Ahmed, I hope your question has been answered. Hello, Ahmed, can you hear me? Okay, while we wait for his response, if you have any question or contribution in regards to today's presentation on impacts of urbanization on health, please can you go ahead and make your contributions or questions while we round up the session for today. You can also drop your contribution or your questions in the chat box.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, everyone. I just wish to commend the presenter because he really did justice to the topic. Yes. I could remember one time I visited Port Harcourt City that I stayed for some time. Like the kind of suits in the house, all these black stains everywhere around the house. The thing made me like I said I won't visit Port Harcourt again. I could time it that this is as a regard of industrialization in that urban city. So it really impacts negatively to health. Yes, because someone that is asthmatic, I don't think that that person can cope in that area. Or some persons having some health challenges that deals with the heart or the lungs and so on. So I really wish the government and even those people that study all this urban planning, I don't know if they're really doing some work at all this time around. So if the government should set out policy like if you want to site a living area for people, let it be in this part. If you want to site industries, let it be in this part. Because oftentimes these days, you will see where someone is living, there will be a gas plant there, there will be a fuel station, there will be an industry and all sorts around the place where people are living. And this is really not good. So I beseech the government and those in higher authorities should do something about it. Thank you all for listening.
Thank you, Ogechuku, for your contribution. Thank you for your contribution. I think urbanization, just as he has highlighted of the negative impacts, I'm thinking urbanization should also have a positive impact on health and to community members. Amalachiku Promise, can you help enlighten us on one or two positive impacts of urbanization on our
Yeah,
health?
yes. There are a lot of positive impact actually. What's the challenge we are facing within the continent we live in is how would I put it, improper regulations about all these things. But yes, urbanization has actually have a lot of positive impacts. In my introduction, I stated few of them. Number one, education. I Most of the schools or most of us that have the dream of going to so schools or traveling abroad to study is because urbanization helps to bring those schools there. It helps them to keep in pace to what is happening. And even to the basic things that we are using daily now that we call data. Before I come to the health part, the internet connection. If most of us travels to our village, say please don't my line won't be, we normally state that issue that my line won't be available for 2 days because why? I'm going to the village, and in my village there is no internet connection there. But in most of the cities that we have internet connection. We have access to so many things that urbanization has to bring. Then in health, if we start taking census or taking numbers of the health facilities in most urbanized areas in Nigeria. Let me talk about some few developed places that we have here. In as much as if you are bringing it to the lens of urbanization, some people that live there their health is actually in danger. But if you talk about Lagos, if you talk about Abuja, understand that the top hospitals there that we have in Nigeria are situated there. This is what urbanization brings. It helps to bring development. It helps to bring educational opportunities, even earning higher wage in terms of salaries, in terms of what you are doing, and to the least thing that we appreciate internet, because you don't know how important internet is until you go to a place where there is no internet and you're already used to internet. Then you understand the importance of urbanization. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. That is um improved or quality access to improved or quality health care. That is another positive impact of urbanization or health. There is access to improved care in the urban areas. Okay, While we wait for other questions or contributions, let's round off with this one. Is there a relationship between urbanization and migration?
There is.
Okay, please, can you just hit one or two rocks and then we'll sum it up for today?
When I was in the course of our discussion, I spoke about the causes of urbanization, and I said that there are someone into three different categories. Rural to urban migration is number one. So there are great link between urbanization and migration. So that's your question, right?
Yes, what is the relationship between urbanization
Okay.
and migration?
The relationship there is that people tends to live from, like, if you are talking about I believe the opposite of urban areas or urban is rural. So the relationship there, that you discover that most people leave the rural areas to urban area and search for all these assets that we listed out. Talk about access to improve health, the internet, the education, and the rest. So there are relationship between the two. Because for an example now, if you take the landmass of your village, I don't know your village or your town, you discover that even the town, the place that you are living here, you have much people here in where you are living as compared to those people in your village. But you discover that you have more land mass in that your village as compared to people that are living there. So if you bring all these things into perspective, you understand that there are great link of urbanization and migration, because it is a gradual process, just like I pointed out in the definition. The gradual process that people move from a particular area, termed rural area, to those urban cities. But they are not just going there for going sake. Most people are going there to obtain health, to obtain internet connection, to obtain good jobs and the rest. So the relationship between urbanization and migration, it depends on what the person is looking out for.
Okay, thank you very much, Promise, for that, for your presentation today. Urbanization and migration, they work in par, like they are correlated. Do you understand? Because once there is a movement from a particular region to maybe in quest for a better life, in quest for basic in quest for advanced amenities and social structures, you see that migration has happened, and you know moving from that particular place to a better place, urbanization has also happened. This topic has really touched so many areas, not just impact on health. There are also impacts in the society, impact because it made the rural areas, it made it scanty, and then when you come to the urban areas, you see floods of people, congestion. Sometimes during this period now, you see people are moving and migrating back to the village just to celebrate the season, and in January now you see them coming back to the city again. So these are the things that urbanization brings, and I must commend you greatly for this presentation. And before we round it up for today, I would also highlight the impact of urbanization on health. Just like the presenter mentioned, he said health in health inequities, spread of infectious diseases. Of course, in developed places, there are limited access to healthcare facilities, to healthcare personnel in the rural areas. So this negative impact is what to be curtailed, is what we are asking that the government will look into, so that the rate of migration from the rural areas to the urban areas will be reduced and minimized. Okay, the spread of infectious diseases will also be reduced. Then high rates of depression, anxiety, and mental illness. When you talk about people that has labored all their life and time in the village or in the rural areas, and they will, and nothing to show for it. Some of these things impact their health and their mental health too. So the importance, the deal is that the government should also know that these developments that are right in the city, that people are running from different places, just as Nigerians currently are migrating from here to different countries just to get a better living and get good education, get good jobs, and all of that. Our government can bring it down to our country and develop some parts of the country, bring industries where people can work and earn a living. And you see that the and migration in some of these places will reduce. So some of this impacts on health is what can be considered, is what we have to look up and work on in our different places, wherever you find yourself as a healthcare professionals. These are topics, these are things that, when you come for meetings, you come for general meetings in your profession, you'll be able to highlight um, some of these things, and it will help to improve people's lives and their health. Thank you very much, Precious, for this contribution, for this presentation. Sorry, this Orapo is brought to you by um, is this community, this presentation is brought to you by the members of the college, Orapo College of Scholars. So if you're joining us for the first time, you're welcome, and we hope to see you next year in good health, and also um, implore you to invite your friends to join us by next year. We anticipate something bigger, something greater. Before we round it off for today, and this is our last of Oraposium for the year 2023. It has been an awesome year, having to get some of these topics together, having the members of the college discuss this topic, and having you to join us to listen and to make your contributions. We appreciate you, we love you, and we hope to see you in subsequent times. And also want to take this special opportunity to appreciate our mentor, the founder of this community, the founder of Oracle, Dr. V.E. Adamu. He has been a great father, a great mentor in our lives, and this day we want to appreciate him. Thank you for chairing the occasion. Thank you for leading us. Thank you for giving us this platform. Thank you for bringing us together under one umbrella. Thank you, and we hope to do better and greater things in the year 2024. We hope that, I know that he's a man of vision, and he already has a lot of things in stock for us and every other person. So stay tuned. Don't forget to follow us on our social media handles all over. We are on Facebook as Oracle. We are on Telegram. We're on Telegram as the Oracle community. We're also on Thread. We are on Instagram. We are everywhere. So wherever you are, make sure you search for Oracle and join. We're also on YouTube. So the video recording of this session will be uploaded in our channel, Oracle channel on YouTube. So do well to go there, subscribe, like, share, and comment. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us for today. I am your moderator, Unguchika Charity. I'm a fellow Oracle College of Scholar. I hope to see you in our next presentation next year. Do have a Merry Christmas in advance and a Happy New Year. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.